Hi, it's fast. No, this is Chris Grimm and this is Deep Break Fast. I don't know what just happened. The video glitched, but I'm here with you. And like every week, I drop a blog on Monday and then I come on and for about 20 minutes or less, I review the content of those blogs so that you can have an explanation of the tools, the ideas, the concepts, so that I can help you be the best that you can be in all the roles you play at work and at home, parent, partner, team member, all of it, right? I just want you to be at your best. And I have been coaching people for 28 years. It's a long time. And in all of that coaching, both people in leadership positions, team leaders, organizational leaders, but also in people's personal lives. Um, what I know is that there's a lot of books out there, there's a lot of ideas, and most of us are too busy to do what it takes to implement things well. And so this week, I'm focusing on something that's been around for a while. You may or may not have heard about it. The book is called Getting Things Done. The author is David Allen. It's a classic. David Allen also has a podcast. I'm not getting paid by him, by the way. I'm just decided to focus on this because this is a great example of a book and a philosophy that has a ton of resources, free resources on the internet for anyone who wants to adopt his philosophy. It's called Getting Things Done, or GTD. It's been around long enough. Yes, it has an abbreviation. To help simplify your life, but help you and hopefully the people around you, because it's catchy, to be efficient, effective, and ultimately for you to not only get things done, but to be able to get things done on a regular basis so you can have a life, and that your life isn't just getting things done, right? You should have a life that's more than that. So I chose this because it's a great example of a book with a philosophy and a system that's not that hard, but people find it really difficult to sustain. And some people tell me the system, which I believe is fairly simple, doesn't feel simple when you're doing it because it's a set of disciplines that if you do them all together, you get great results. But if you only do one thing and not the rest of them, you're probably wasting your time, which is like the opposite of the whole point of this. Worth some time for us to talk through so that you can decide how this can work for you, because I want you to be, at the bare minimum, efficient, effective, of course, but also I don't want you to waste so much time that you spend your life trying to get all the stuff done that's coming at you, being asked of you, or that you're asking other people to do and they're not doing. So let's dig into this. This system is not sexy. It is not meant to be anything fancy or brain surgery. This is boiling it down to very practical for whole organizations. So this can work for you personally. And then, of course, you'll be so efficient and effective, other people around you are going to ask what you're doing. And so then it will spread like wildfire, or at least I hope it will. So the first thing that David Allen talks about, there are 5 things, and I'm just going to review them really quickly. You can grab my blog. It's like a 2-minute read. And like I said, if you go to any browser and type in Getting Things Done, David Allen, there's a ton of resources, and on YouTube, there's videos. Of course, he has a podcast. Okay, let's do it. So the number one thing that David Allen says that you should be doing to be more efficient is to capture everything. Now, I want to break this down because he really means capture everything. And the reason is because what he says, and I believe it's true, and I coach you and a lot of other people, and I have my own life, is that all day, every day, there's things coming at us. Email, text messages, Teams, Slack, meetings, phone conversations, Zoom meetings, etc. All of those experiences that we have in a day. And then personally, when we're interacting with our partner, our children, maybe our parents, maybe our dry cleaner, whatever, What's happening is that all of those interactions are creating potential action steps for you, something to be done. And if you think about what happens to most of us, is that we're going through all those experiences and we're capturing some of them, like actually writing them down or putting them into your device. But there's a lot of them that we're not capturing. And what David Allen says, and I believe this is true, is that the things that we don't capture, but we hear, we acknowledge, we talk about with other people, that even if we don't identify them as something we own and we're going to do, that's now in our consciousness. Like we've recorded it, whether we like it or not. And if you think about it, you know that because in meetings and things, you're listening to what everybody's saying. So even if someone else is taking an action item, by virtue of the fact that you heard that, you now have captured it. It has an imprint in your memory and it sits there. And so if we don't sort through all the things and then capture them somewhere, the things that we don't write down or put in a device or schedule to be done was found. And it go to bed at night, or maybe tomorrow you're driving, and all of a sudden you start to think about all the things that you have to do that maybe you haven't written down and put on a to-do item list or a to-do list. Sorry, that's Shasti making a cameo. If you can hear that, my dog is drinking water very loud. Thanks, Queen. Okay, so let's get to this because it's real. So I believe that David Allen is correct, that if you are a highly busy person, which I'm sure that you are, and you don't have a way, a place to put all those to-do items that are actually yours or related to something you care about, they will nag you over and over and over again until they get attention. And then they become a distraction. A great example of that, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. She was telling that by June, in her consciousness, she starts thinking about Christmas. Not kidding. This person was like, June comes and all of a sudden Christmas starts showing up. Now, she's busy, does not have time to go Christmas shopping in June. But her consciousness knows it's coming and knows that she has a big family. And usually somewhere around October, November, and December, she has to get into that mode so that she can get it all done on time. That's a wonderful example of a whole bunch of action items that if you don't capture them, the first time they come into your consciousness, they're just going to keep coming back until you acknowledge it and write it down. So the number one thing he says is capture everything. So if you don't have the right system to capture everything, I'm going to make two suggestions to you. One, if you're a digital person, there's a free notes app on your device. Doesn't matter what kind of phone you have, there's a notes app. It's free. That's the simple, easy way. And it has a voice recording thing. You don't even have to type. You can do it when you're driving. You just talk it into your notes so that it gets captured somewhere and your brain can relax. Your subconscious and your conscious parts of your brain, now they can say, okay, we don't have to remind you of that, or we don't have to remind you as much about this thing because you've taken it seriously and you've captured it. You've acknowledged that it's important to you. Another place, this is what I use. People are going to laugh. I'm a paper person. Those of you who know me, know me. These are to-do list workbooks. They're from Japan, but you can buy them here in Japanese stores everywhere. All the malls have them now. They're cheap. It's like $5 and I love it. I usually get one and it lasts me for 2 or 3 months. And the pages are just to-do list pages. It's a place where I can write things down when I'm on calls, etc. I can make a whole page for that client or for my daughter or for my son or for Christmas, whatever is showing up. And then I actually have an organized space to put things. So find the system that works for you. You might actually also look at what system you're used to. I still walk in people's offices when I go in person, and I'm amazed at how many people still use Post-its. not that effective, actually. So look, if it works for you, go you. But for most people, because we're not in one office anymore, and there's a lot of people who are back to traveling and or half hybrid remote and in an office, the whole post-it thing might not be the most effective way to capture everything. So find the system that works for you, and please, 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 let's actually do it. The number two thing that David Allen says is also important, which is that list, once you've made it somewhere, or the series of lists of things, you need to clarify what each of those things mean. Most likely, there are things that you're going to write down that you are not going to be the person that actually needs to take the action or all of it. So if something is a project, for instance, and there are other people involved, you should clarify that as quickly as possible and try to touch everything one time. It's also part of the philosophy that I think is really great, and I try to do it. I'm not always great at it. But he says that the minute you get a to-do item that's easy to do, you should do it. You should touch it one time. So instead of putting it in a list and re-looking at it next week, if you can do it now, it's going to take you 2 to 5 minutes. Go for it. So it's an idea, but the main part of this is you clarifying every item that you just put in that list and knowing exactly what it is. Like, is it actually actionable? And is that action really yours to take? Or are you writing something down so that you can nag someone else because they don't have a list? Struggle's real. So you should need to look at that. So actionable, non-actionable, is it delegatable? Who owns it? Is it actually yours to own? Get super clear. And can you take care of it quickly? Like actually do the thing instead of writing it down and pushing it off till tomorrow. The third thing is to be organized. And that comes into what I was just saying, but a little bit more really focused and refined. So, how long is this thing going to take? And can you get it done in the next few hours? Can you get it done in the next few days? Is this something that you actually don't really need to do with any urgency? So, this can get pushed off to another person or time and place. Like most people I know, I've been coaching a long time, are not great at estimating the length of time it is going to take to complete a task. In fact, most of us underestimate the amount of time it's going to take to do anything. Go to the grocery store, go to the post office, or make a PowerPoint. You would think after all this time, we might actually know our own work style. We might know how long things take. But for some reason, we're not really great at estimating that. So this third step is getting super real about whatever it is, and then starting to actually estimate it so that you can plan effectively. You can put things in the calendar, blocking out time, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, so that things get done. The fourth thing is reflection. So old David Allen wants you every week on Sundays to reflect on the week past and then on the week ahead so that you can make sure all these items have space and time to get done. I am not a fan of you using weekend time to do your planning. Now, I know a lot of people and they do this. I think that part of the reason people get anxiety on Sundays, and I know a lot of you are those people, is that they do start thinking about work on Sunday evening, and that starts their anxiety of the week. And so they don't sleep well on Sunday nights. This is a thing. People talk to me about it all the time. And so what I say is that if you want to try and contain as much as you possibly can your work into the work week and not have to do it on the weekends, then make sure you have reflection time on Friday before the end of the day so that you can reflect on the week and start the list for the next week, if not bake it into the next week on Friday before your work week ends so that you can start into your work week what I call clean. That during the weekend, this is what I wish for all of us. And I know it's not realistic all the time. I have it all the time. My work bleeds into the weekend. And most of the time, I'm the person choosing that. I'm a boss. I am my boss. So there's nobody whose fault is it but mine. Voice. And I do think where other than on the weekend, Really take reflection seriously, like get real with yourself. Did I plan enough time to work on this thing? Do I have something coming up in the next week or so that's going to add pages and pages of more to-dos? Big projects coming up, a board meeting. Maybe your senior team or the team that you're on is going offsite for strategic planning or something like that, right? You should not just take your planning as a shallow task, a hit and run task. It should become an integrated part of the way you function. And that's one of the things that I think is missing for many people is that they read these books, they take on these techniques, they buy fancy planners or apps that do great things. But philosophically, they don't integrate planning into their life on a regular basis, which is the critical part of making all of this work so that you're not just getting stuff done, that you're accomplishing the goals and the things that are the most important things for you, not just exerting a bunch of effort and activity. Yeah, why would you want to do that? But it is seemingly normal for a lot of people. And I would like to help you be better than that. So, the last thing I want to talk to you about is the engagement and the level of intention that you have with your work time. Yeah, scheduling time to work where you turn your phones, I got to, on airplane mode. Can you imagine? Yeah. It works. Shutting off all the distractions, telling people I need to take work time, block that out. Heather Mission Control does a really nice job on my calendar of setting blocked time. I'm actually usually the perpetrator, the person who doesn't respect those boundaries because I say yes to phone calls or whatever. I don't always focus. But we need to be better than that. So I'm inviting you to, with me, make a new commitment around engagement and intention around your work, right? Giving your work time the time it needs to be high quality so that you can get the things not only off that to-do list, but that you don't have to think about it anymore and you get the results that you want. And you cannot do that if you're multitasking all the time. It doesn't matter how great you are at multitasking. We can't, right? There's just too many things vying for our attention all the time. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope it not only becomes something that you relook at, look at for yourself, refine your practices, and then you're going to be better at this. And then everybody around you will be better at it too. Okay, I'll see you next week for Deep Work Fast. Read that blog. Okay, bye.